Later this year, Lynn-Marie contacts me about Robert Foster and working with Lynn-Marie, which was great because I'm in the field and she's on the phone, so checking addresses, I didn't have to worry about using my computer at the car. We tracked Robert Foster down in Tallahassee, Florida. He's a shell of a man than what he is in this picture now, and did admit he was in that area in 1975 prior to these occurrences taking place. He couldn't see, and I had a picture that Lynn-Marie has here that I wanted to show him, but he had glaucoma. I went and bought a magnifying glass. That didn't do it either. But I did got him to admit he was in the area. As I said before, he's a shell of a man than what he used to be, and he's in Tallahassee.
When Captain Cal put Robert Foster on the phone with me, he said, I've never been to Fort Pierce, Florida. I said, I didn't ask you if you were in Fort Pierce, Florida. I'm talking about Winter Garden. He said, no, just Orange County. That's what he said. So we found out that he was delivered to Orange County because the authorities were waiting for him when he was released from prison in July of that very year. And he was dropped right here, and that he was a migrant worker, and he admits to all of that. I have one more affidavit that's going to be filed in court today. Not today. It's going to be filed by Mr. Zeigler's lawyers as soon as I give them to him. Give them the affidavit. I am going to read this to you, but I'm going to omit the woman's name for this very moment, and you'll probably understand why. This was a woman that I tracked down because she was in the original notes, notes that I saw. She's the only woman that ever knew that Robert Foster existed, and I tried to find her. She works with law enforcement now. That's her job. She works at a sheriff's department. I'm sure she had to be cleared to work there. She has signed this affidavit and given it back to me, and I would just read it to you. I personally know William Thomas Zeigler. He lived in Winter Garden, Florida when I was there. He was known to me as Tommy. I was Edward Williams. I also knew Edward Williams, who worked for Tommy. Edward was a tenant at the apartment that my now deceased husband and I managed in Winter Garden. On December 24th, 1975, Tommy Zeigler called me in the afternoon and he told me that he would cover Ed Williams' rent. That's what you're going to do, right? When you're going to kill somebody, make sure you call the landlady and help out with the rent. He called the electric company, had the electric turned on as well. She and her husband, I and my husband ran and played at the softball and recreational baseball games at the fields, located in the same area where the apartments where we resided. We had 6 children and we were all heavily involved in softball and baseball games. My husband and I knew Robert Foster and Charlie Mays were friends, okay? And that they played on the same softball team prior to December 25th. Now, he was only in town since January. He was only in town since July, and she has them playing softball together on a regular basis. On June 23rd, I viewed a mugshot of Robert Foster online at the Lake County Sheriff's Department on the website TommyZeiglerIsInnocent.com. And Tommy Zeigler